Good morning, metalheads of the internet, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Metal Meltdown. Guess what? We just got back from a week-long vacation in Mexico! Ha 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 ha! That's right, Chompy. Indeed. It really was a spectacular, beautiful, wonderful weekend of sun and fun, of eating ceviche, drinking tequila, swimming in cenotes and on sandy beaches, and also drinking tequila. Anna, have I mentioned tequila yet?
Maybe.
Have I?
Maybe.
I'm not sure I have.
I'm not sure.
Just in case I have not. Lots of tequila. I drank a lot in general, but specifically tequila. Oh boy! But don't worry, I still also listened to metal music. And I also still listened to all of your messages insisting that despite the fact I was on vacation, I was supposed to listen to and eventually review the new Blut Aus Nord album. And of course, obviously, the bright, hot, humid environment of Mexico is perfect for listening to cold, atmospheric, vast, cosmic, avant-garde black metal. Isn't that correct, Anna?
That's right.
That is right! And I did so with tequila. Have I mentioned tequila, Anna?
I don't think so.
I don't believe so either. So much tequila! Alright, focus up, lock in, let's go, let's do it. Today we are here to talk about the 16th, or is it maybe 17th, full-length studio album from Blut Aus Nord. We are no strangers to Blut Aus Nord and their metal menace and madness here at the Metal Meltdown. They've been kicking around for just over 30 years now. They are icons and poster boys, one could say, for like atmospheric, cosmic, avant-garde black metal, thanks to albums like Hallucinogen, Odinist, and thanks to a multi-part album series like Memoria Vestuta, 777, Disharmonium. These guys are always doing high concept, outside the box shit. This new album, Ethereal Horizons, is no exception whatsoever. It is a return to the more vast, cosmic, spacey, psychic kind of black metal assault of specifically 2019's Hallucinogen. In fact, when I was done listening to this album, it kind of autoplayed into Hallucinogen, and I didn't even question it, you know? Like, it just had such a similar kind of vibe and aesthetic and feel. I feel like some of the Lovecraftian grandiosity of the Disharmonian records is still here to an extent, but, you know, overall, this is less about monsters from the multiverse and other wretched realms, and you know, it's more exploratory, more expansive, more vast. I feel like I'm also getting different kinds of like vocal theatrics and dynamics that I might associate with Dot Heimsgard. I feel like I'm also getting some of the more like icy, cold, old school, adventurous kind of black metal spices that I would maybe get like from Enslaved, like specifically like Enslaved when they're still kind of like a true old school kind of black metal band, but they're beginning to transition into being like a progressive metal band. I mean, you got these like huge walls of epic choral chanting vocals, and you know, that's contrasted pretty well with some more kind of like timid, haunting kind of warbled vocals, and of course your standard kind of black metal shrieks and howls. Fierce, icy tremolo guitar riffing and pummeling percussion and lots of synths and atmospherics and different textures and dynamics. It's everything you really want from an album of this type and variety, everything you really want from Blut Aus Nord. It's Blut Aus Nord, once again, just kind of perfectly executing a great album through and through. You've got opening number Shadows Breathe First, which, I mean, just immediately you feel these waves of like cold, ominous, kind of spacey fog, kind of consuming everything, moaning vocals, and these more like kind of dark, tense chords and textures. Very cool, interesting use of these like huge shimmering melodic guitars with like this kind of like freezing kind of old school black metal guitar tone and production. I think it makes the whole thing just kind of sound and feel like the coldest, darkest reaches of space itself. I mean, it just feels immense. It's a pretty great start to the album. Following number, Seclusion does a great job mixing things up with some different kind of like psychedelic, psychic kind of attacks and waves and more anxious sounding feeling kinds of tones and riffs. I like the way it kind of swells and the way it kind of like lurches in between these more like mid-pace kind of trotting black metal sections and more fast-paced, full-blown, more bombastic kind of black metal. Parts of it almost feel akin to something I might hear from, like, Aranti Pazuzu, but, like, if Aranti Pazuzu ever tried to make, like, a more straightforward-ish kind of black metal record. The Ordeal is a great cut as well. I love how it has the size and the scale and, like, the height and the cinematic kind of sheen and polish of, like, a symphonic black metal cut, but it also has these very lush, emotive textures and sprawls that, to be honest, wouldn't be out of place on, like, a Black Gaze cut. Both The Fall, Opens the Skies, and What Burns Now Listens both have moments that, quite frankly, feel like I'm ascending to the heavens, to the cosmic afterlife, perhaps, even. Kinda loving the use of this more kind of like mid-pace, blackened heavy metal riffage in the latter cut as well, almost giving this a little bit of a tribulation shade for half a minute. And of course, we gotta talk about that closing number, The End Becomes Great, a 12.5-minute mammoth of a cut filled with twisted, soaring, powerful, beautiful riffs and shades and textures all the way through. Very multifaceted, very flexible, versatile, unpredictable. The way that it transitions back and forth between like cosmic ambience and like more fast-paced kind of epic black metal and more mid-paced kind of melodic black metal with dreamy, shimmering textures and licks. I mean, it really is quite beautiful and potent. Production-wise, this is one of the most beautiful and robust black metal albums I've heard all year. I mean, Blut Aus Nord never fail in this particular department, and this album is no exception whatsoever. I'm personally feeling a solid 4.5 out of 5. I mean, Blut Aus Nord just knocked it out of the park again. They always knock it out of the park. They are the masters. They are the best of the best, the fucking goats of this genre. People who love Blut Aus Nord, specifically the more vast psychedelic side of the band, I think are going to love this album. No issues there whatsoever. If you are somehow brand new to this band, to this particular side of black metal, I think this would unironically make for a pretty decent entry point. I feel like in general, if you just want to have like a really great time, like this is the kind of album that like you get really fucking high, you go to the planetarium and you just listen to this fucking album with headphones on and you just sit there and zone the fuck out. Or maybe you play something like Death Stranding or some kind of like calming space exploration video game and this is on and whatever. Or hell, fuck it. If you want to be really stupid, you can take a page out of the Metal Meltdown book and play this motherfucker while you're on the beach in Mexico. Because nothing says vast, cold, cosmic, atmospheric, avant-garde black metal madness quite like a fucking pina colada in one hand and a tuna tostada in the other on a fucking beach in fucking Mexico. Of course. What more can be said, man? It's Blut Aus Nord, it's Ethereal Horizons, it's fantastic, duh. Check it out. And that is it for the Metal Meltdown. I am not an expert, nor do I claim to be. So what do you think? Do you like this record? Do you not like this record? And what do you want to hear from me next? And thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I loved Mexico, but I'm pretty happy to be back with you talking about music. If you want to do even more of that with me, subscribe, other videos, join us on Discord, and as always, you have yourself a fantastic fucking day.